All right, welcome everyone. Look, a new reality is already here for enterprise leaders, and it is changing absolutely everything. Today, we're going to break down the key tech trends that'll define 2026 and really separate the true leaders from everyone else.
So you gotta ask yourself, with the stakes higher than ever, what's your 2026 strategy gonna look like? Because a new wave of transformation is here, and it's forcing every single organization to figure out a plan to not just survive, but to really truly thrive.
This quote really hits the nail on the head. We're past the point of just chasing shiny objects or adopting tech for the sake of it. The winners of 2026? They're going to be the ones who embed these powerful new tools deep into their operations to deliver real, measurable growth. So, let's break down exactly how they're going to do it.
Okay, here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with the big picture strategic reset. Then, we'll explore how AI is literally becoming your new coworker, the new digital backbone that powers it all, the frontier tech you need to be planning for right now, the new mandate for sustainability, and finally, how it all connects.
First up, the 2026 Strategic Reset. So we're talking about a fundamental shift here. We're moving away from these siloed, one-off tech projects and moving towards what's being called an integrated digital fabric, a world where every piece of technology, from AI to the cloud, just works together seamlessly.
All right, our first deep dive is probably the one you're feeling most directly. It's the evolution of AI from just a simple tool into a true collaborator, and it's changing the very nature of how we work.
When we say AI coworkers, we're not just talking about fancier chatbots. No way. We're talking about the next stage, agentic AI. Think of these as virtual team members, always-on assistants that can do things like monitor your inventory, automatically reorder supplies from a vendor, and then schedule the delivery, all with minimal human help. This is where you can really see the leap we're talking about. See, a chatbot just reacts. It answers a question you ask. An agent, on the other hand, can take that prompt and actually execute a whole series of actions across different systems to get a job done. It's the difference between asking for information and actually delegating a task. And let's be super clear here. This isn't about replacing people. It's all about augmenting them. GenAI copilots are being embedded directly into the tools we use every single day. They're helping software engineers write better code, helping legal teams draft contracts faster, and helping project managers create smarter, more effective action plans.
And get this, if you want to understand the scale of this thing, IDC is predicting that by 2026, a whopping 80% of the core apps you use for work will have an AI assistant built right in. Just think about that, 4 out of every 5. AI augmentation is quickly becoming the new normal, not the exception.
But all this incredible AI can't just run on thin air, right? It needs a whole new kind of foundation to run on. So now, let's look at the foundational plumbing that's being completely rebuilt to support this new world.
You know, the days of the generic one-size-fits-all cloud are kind of numbered. Organizations are demanding specialized platforms that actually understand their unique industries. You know, things like pre-built healthcare data models or ready-to-go financial compliance configurations.
And wow, when you look at the numbers, this trend is just undeniable. Gartner predicts that adoption of these industry-specific clouds is going to jump from less than 15% in 2023 to a massive 70% by 2026. As you can see on this chart, it's a huge strategic migration, and it's all driven by the need for speed, compliance, and better data insights.
At the same time, think about this. With so many people working from home and all these new IoT devices popping up everywhere, the old idea of a secure office perimeter is, well, it's gone. Security can't live in a central castle anymore. It has to move out to the very edge, right where the data is being created and accessed.
So how does this Zero Trust Edge thing actually work? It's a pretty simple but powerful idea, really. It basically assumes no one is trusted by default. It verifies your identity and your access rights directly on the device, whether that's your laptop or an industrial sensor, right at the moment you try to connect. It protects the network at the source.
All right, now let's shift gears and look at the stuff that's right on the horizon. These are the game-changing technologies that, even if they're not fully mainstream yet, demand your strategic attention today.
First up, quantum computing. And the opportunity here is, well, it's mind-bending. Quantum gives us the power to solve some of the world's most complex problems, optimizing financial models, streamlining global logistics, discovering new medicines in ways we can barely even imagine today.
But here's the other side of that coin, and it's a big one. That same immense power makes quantum a huge security threat. Why?
because quantum computers will eventually be able to break our current encryption standards. That means transitioning to quantum-safe security isn't some distant future problem. It has to be a strategic priority for 2026.
Okay, let's talk about extended reality, or XR. You know, this tech has felt like it's just around the corner for years. Well, that corner has officially been turned. With headsets getting smaller, lighter, and way more powerful, XR is finally breaking into the enterprise mainstream. We're talking immersive training simulations, remote expert help for field technicians, you name it.
And if you need any proof of how big this is going to be, just look at this number, $380 billion. That's the predicted market size. And that growth is going to be driven by enterprise use cases. So the time to build an XR strategy isn't in the future, it's right now.
Okay, next up, sustainability. And this is a biggie, because what we're seeing is a dramatic shift. It's moving from a nice-to-have corporate social responsibility item to a core, non-negotiable business requirement.
So, what's pushing this so hard? A big driver is regulation. For a lot of large companies, sustainable technology is just not optional anymore. Directives like the one in the EU mean companies must prepare detailed reports on their environmental impact, which makes green tech an operational and, frankly, a legal necessity.
I love this quote, green by design. It perfectly captures the mindset shift that's happening. It's about moving beyond just reporting on your impact and actually integrating sustainability into the very DNA of your technology from the very beginning.
All right, for our final section, let's pull all these threads together. Because, as you've probably figured out, these trends don't exist in isolation. They're all weaving together to form a powerful new reality.
And there is no better example of how all this stuff connects than the digital twin. Just imagine having a perfect virtual copy of your entire supply chain. It's built on an industry-specific cloud platform. It's secured with a zero-trust edge, and it's constantly being fed real-time data from sensors. Then, AI agents analyze this model to predict disruptions and optimize logistics. It becomes the true nerve center of the whole operation.
So here's the big takeaway. None of these technologies are happening in a vacuum. They're all weaving together to create this new digital fabric for the entire enterprise. And while the tech itself is incredible, this creates some very real human-centric challenges. Leaders have to address the skills gap, protect human creativity, and adopt really strong ethical guardrails to make sure this all gets used responsibly.
And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. Forget the technology for a second, forget the strategy documents. This new digital fabric is coming. The real question is, are your people and your culture